Hello everyone, Ceri the Crafter here, that's C-E-R-I the Crafter, and I'm here with another what to do with a 12 by 12. Now in this one we're going to be looking at tickets. Now, not sure you'd actually think about making small tickets from a 12 by 12, but I do because it gives me some interesting little pieces that don't necessarily need writing on there. I could just tuck into a pocket, tuck into a little bit of ephemera. I tend to make them in two sizes. The small one is 1 inch wide by 2 inches deep. The larger one is 1.5 inches wide by 3 inches deep. As a sort of ratio thing, I usually, if I'm trying to find about the right size for things, I usually take the width and double it to give me the length. But this is the size I normally make. And I like to make myself a template purely because if I'm looking at 12 by 12 papers, this gives me an idea of what I'm looking for. So I'm not going to make the small ones today because I already have enough small ones. Where do I put that paper clip? I already have enough small ones made, but I'm running short on the large ones. So let's bring in some 12 by 12s and explain why I've chosen them. Right, I've got a selection of them because I really do need to boost my own. So this is a Tim Holtz paper. This is quite plain on the background. If I want to use them as little journaling tags, this is important. If I'm not worried about journaling on the back, then maybe it's not so important. I would very rarely do these with a white background. I would actually just use double-sided. So that's a reasonable plain background. Now this one is a really good example of, if this is my tag, if this is my ticket, what's it going to look like? So if I put that there, that'll show you that I'll catch pretty much half of all of that. Then when I cut the next one, I'll get a strip with bits of text on. Now these become interesting little pieces that you can just decorate up by putting one small element on. At the end of this, I might maybe grab a flower and a butterfly or something to show you how quick it is to do. So that one to me is quite a good one to do. Ironically, this has a join in the middle, so that's a 6 and that's a 6. 1.5. That means I'll have the edge of the tickets right down the middle. So that's one good one. This is a Stamperia. I want to say this is Roses something. I can't remember. I should have written it down. Sorry. Again, I've gone for a really small pattern. Okay. The thing you do have to remember is check whether there's an orientation. There is on this one because there's writing on it. But again, these will give me really nice tiny little tickets, and because all the elements on there are really small, I'll have some really interesting stuff. And if I don't want the back as journaling space, I have a pretty background on each of my tickets as well. Okay, this is another one. This one is from, I want to say this is Stamperia. It might be something called Dream. I can't remember. I've got a few packs guys, and I can't keep track of them. So this one is quite a generic one. So when I put the tickets and cut them down the edge, I will have interest. However, all of this, some of these will only have these polka dots on them, which is actually quite nice if I then want to stamp a word on them or a sentiment, or I definitely want to decorate it up. And on the other side of this, it's very similar. So I could actually use that as the back and this is the front. And again, it's plain enough for me to maybe add butterflies or stamp words or put sentiments or numbers or stuff on. Again, a really interesting one. If I'm using this as the front, I will have that down the edges of some of the tickets and at the top of some of the tickets. So something worth looking at. This one, I believe, is a Crafter's Companion pad. I chose this one because it's got lots of different patches of interest. So when I cut these strips out, I'll end up with quite an array of differences. Like the tickets that come down this edge here are going to have all this detail. But if I turn over to the back, again, I've got nice space for writing, or I could use this as a space to be decorating. So, right, I'm going to take you through the process of how to make the 1.5 by 3 inch version. Although, to be honest with you, once you've seen it done once, you'll be up and away and it'll be absolutely fabulous at doing it. So let's bring in the scoreboard, because I need a scoreboard first of all. Right, so scoreboard nice and centered, right. Now, let's take the bone folder out. So my tickets are 1.5 inches wide. Now we know that our 12 by 12 is here. I need to cut on that 1.5 inch line. I don't need to score. but I do need to score this line here because I'm going to do a string of, how is it, 3, 6, 9, 12, four tickets in a strip. I'm not going to do them as individuals, although they can be cut or torn into individuals if I want. So let's use that last one that I was looking at. So this is my 12 by 12. This is the orientation I want my tickets to be in when I cut them, because I've got text here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it 90 degrees to the side, so then I've got the 3-inch mark. So I'm going to come down and I'm going to score every 3 inches. So that's 3, 6 and 9. So then put that to one side. That's 3, 6, 9. Now, because I want my tickets to fold either way, I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to score exactly the same measurements on the other side of it. This, if you choose to tear your tickets, actually makes it easier to tear them because you've already compressed the fibres. So I would do that with all of them. I'm going to take a break in a little while because I'm going to do them all and come back and then show you the variety I've ended up with. So I've done all my scoring. This is a really simple technique. Let's move that to one side. Now next, as you know, I'm someone who uses a guillotine. I'm not someone who uses a trimmer. Well, I've got several trimmers, but I tend to favour using my guillotine. So I'm now going to take my tickets with the score line. The score line will be there on the ticket. So my stuff is now back in the correct orientation. So I'm going to cut these now into 1.5 inch strips. Okay. Now, if I was intelligent enough, I might be able to do it this way. I'm really bad at working math out. So that's 12. So this needs to be 10.5. 10.5. That means that has to be 9. Sorry, it's a math lesson with Ceri today. Yeah, 9, which means 7.5, which means 6, which I believe is at the edge of that sticker there. Down to 4.5, down to 3, down to 1.5. So that's cut them all. Now, if I was doing the smaller ones at this point, I would obviously be cutting them into 1 inch pieces, and I would have scored the score lines at 2 inches instead of 3 inches. So I can now put these back because I'm going to keep these and I use them as a little template. I've got my ideas book and they get stuck in there. So if I now take this out the way, I've now got strips ready to go, and these are my strips of tickets. So as you can see, they've already changed character by the fact they're strips. Now the next bit will depend on how you wish to do it. I've got one of these little single hole punches. Mine was missing the cover when I got it, so I've never been able to see that hole, the cover. But if you've got a cover, if you lift the cover up, it's where it captures all the little bits of paper. If you will lift it up, you should be able to see that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come along and take a little notch out. I line up the line with the middle. If you want, you could get a permanent marker and put 3 marks on there. I just tend to eyeball this. So no one's going to come along and tell me my tickets aren't accurate. I'm going to take a little quarter snip off the bottom, quarter snip off the top. I'm going to work my way down the other side as well. Yeah, I get little bits firing all over my craft room, which I deal with later. I suppose you could do this with a regular hole punch. You could probably even do this by hand if you really wanted to. Right, I'm not going to do all the rest of those in a second. I just want to show you this. So now what we've got is we've got a strip of folding tickets, and because I've scored them in both directions, I can fold them in either direction. Now, when it comes to using these, I tend to leave these undecorated until I actually use them in the journal. But we'll look in a few seconds and I'll decorate a couple up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the camera. I'm going to put the little notches in all of these. And I'm also going to score and cut all of these, so it'll show you what they look like just with the variety papers, because I do truly need to up my stock of these, so I might as well do it as I'm talking to you. So bear with me, it'll be 2 seconds for you, it'll probably be a couple of minutes for me. Back in a moment. So here I'm back again. They're all scored, they're all cut, they're all notched. So this is the 4 sheets cut up. So when you actually think, so this is a strip of 4 tickets. I've made 32 strips out of 4 12 by 12s, which if you were to cut these with the scissors or tear them, because I mean I'm going to use them as little folded things I can tuck into pockets, but you can use them as individuals. If you have them as individuals, that's 128 tickets you've made just there. But it's worth noting, and I'll just flick through them quite quickly, how the character of them has changed because we've cut them into strips. So see, we've got some really interesting patterns, but we've also captured bits of text on this one, and even those are the same 12 by 12, we've got variation within them. That's that polka dot one. The back looks okay for journaling to me. That looks nice for decorating. Let's see if I can find another one. But see, they've just, oh, it's upside down. They just changed character. So there you go. Those two are from the same piece of cardstock, but because we cut them into thinner strips, these are just pretty. Say you were doing a shabby chic journal, just tucking one of those in a pocket or just folding it up and tucking the whole thing in. I think I've got 2 of them there. I do have 2 of them there. Tucking the whole thing in, or maybe opening up and stamping 4 words on there, like I love you, or you are my friend, or the date or something. Just any ideas like that. So that's those ones. And then when we came to the Tim Holtz ones, as you can see, the edges have the line down it, doesn't bother me. But then the ones without the lines are actually interesting text backgrounds as well. So lots and lots of different things to do. So let's take one of these strips at random. Let's just choose that one there. Right. So I don't know what's on the other side. Let's have a look on the other side. Oh, there you go. So actually, I don't want to do that because that's already patterned. Sorry, changing my mind here. I want one that I can just... Let's do that one. Okay, just because it's a bit more of an interesting pattern. Because to be honest with you, I wouldn't do the back of that. I'd do that. I'd probably just leave them as they are for shabby chic. So what sort of things do I put on here? Well, if you've watched some of my other videos, you'll see I make postage stamps out of washi tape. How perfectly sized are those? So you could use those. I mean, I've been through my stickers and I've got a washi sticker of a rose. That would fit on. I just probably trim off the very edge of those petals. I found some washi stamps that ironically are exactly the right size. Obviously, I've got a box of butterflies, which I will grab some out of there. Also, don't forget real postage stamps. They're just miniature pieces of art, and I can guarantee that these fit on these and the smaller version, depending on which stamp you're using. So let's just play around with some ideas, shall we? So let's think, really, let's pull in a bit of a glue book here. I'm going to bring in a Pritt stick as well, or a glue stick, so hopefully that's all within shot. So let's do really simple on the first one. So, okay, this is a washi stamp, a faux washi stamp that came in a sticker kit. So let's just take that off there. Oh, I did okay. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the back of this, because as you all know, I'm not a great lover of trusting washi anything, because it's not in its nature to stick. So if I just come in and I just pop that on there, that one's done. I could put a word on it, I could do anything like that, and that's that one already done. If I could get it straight, it would help. I think that's straight enough. The next one, okay, I like the rose idea on there, but I would like a little something, so I'm going to come in, grab a little bit of book page. I'm just going to tear a little bit of book page off, just to add a little bit of interest on the background. I don't mind if I go over the notch. I can always recut the notch if I need to. Let's just get that glued up. Where's a clean bit of glue page? So these are great little things for your stash, guys. Absolutely great, because as I said, I normally don't decorate them up until I know which journal they're going into. So that's something that I do, but that's not what you have to do, obviously. You can do whatever your little artistic mind wants to do. I just find these really handy. I'm all for putting things into my stash of stuff to use that are quick to decorate, easy to decorate. Mind you, gluing a washy rose is probably, I'll just snap the end off. Right, let's have a little quick repair. Everything can be repaired. So just pop you on there. Take the other bit off it, because now I've got to line everything up again. As I said, don't worry, you can always trim the ends of stuff off if you need to. Let's pop that on there. Slide it over in a little bit. Come on, slide for me. So that's on there. A little bit of scissors. Snip that off there. I wonder whether I've got a number that can go on there. Let's have a little look. A little box of numbers over here. Just a little number. These are just clipped off. I can't remember what these. I think these are actually clipped off raffle tickets, to be honest with you, or bingo tickets or something. Just, I mean, you could go through and distress them with distress inks if you want. Depends on what the look is you're going for. But I think a little number across there is very much in character with what it is. We've done a washi sticker one. Let's not do another stamp type one. Let's take this little stamp here. This is just washi tape mounted onto coffee dyed paper, and then I snipped around the edges. So if I pop that one on there, let's see if I can maybe find a butterfly to go up there. We don't. This is just a bigger version of one of those. So let's have a little look in the old butterfly box. I've got loads of fussy cutting to do with butterflies, so this is a good chance to use up your little butterflies. If I can pick this one up, I'd like it. I like that. Let's put that one on there. Right, I think this is a plastic sticker. It is, if I can get it to take the back off. There you go. I'm not going to do that because I actually trust it. So that's that one. And I think let's just find a regular postage stamp there. Let's see if I've got a mushroom that would work on there. I haven't got any mushroom ephemera left. I've used it all. So let's see if I can just find one that suits the purpose. That's quite nice. Am I still in shot? I am still in shot. Good. That's a bit fussy. That's pretty much the whole ticket. I quite like that one. Oh, that's a nice thin one. Oh, I'm torn now. I think I quite like that one actually. Let's have a look at that one again. I think I like that, but I want to put a little bit of coffee dye paper behind it. So let's just give it a bit of something to ground it. So at a sort of a jaunty angle. So obviously you can have a lot more fun decorating these because you're going to take your time to do it and you're going to have a theme. I'm literally putting this down because you're watching me and I want to show you an example of how easy they are to decorate. So on up you come. I don't mind that. Let's put those to one side before I knock them all over the face. So as you can see, guys, you could literally go through. I mean, on some of the more plain ones, where's that polka dot one? I mean, you could actually stamp words onto those. I mean, if you've got stamps that have got sentiments on, stamp them that way. And as I said, you can either cut these or because you actually double scored them, they tear quite realistically. Also, this sort of stuff really takes well to having the edges distressed. So if you come around the edge, that'll give it a really nice vintage look. Also, you could bring in just a strip of washi tape and just put a strip of washi tape right down the middle and call it done and dusted. So hopefully you enjoyed that. It was a bit of a quick one, but as I said, that probably took me about 10 minutes to do this, and in 10 minutes I created 128 tickets, or 32 strips of these. And as I said, they're just really easy. They're wonderful little things to tuck in. Is it my original idea? No, I've seen people make these before. I've not seen a process video of them, so I don't know if anyone's done it with 12 by 12s, but for me it was just another way of using them up, because it's already decorated cardstock. That could easily get tucked into a corner, put into a pocket, put into a bit of ephemera, clipped onto a page or something, tucked in as another bit of ephemera. Say you're going somewhere, you want just to make some little journaling notes for yourself and tuck it into your own journal for later. So hopefully you enjoyed that, guys. It was another one way I use up my 12 by 12s, and that just leaves me to say goodbye. So I'm Ceri the Crafter, that's Ceri the Crafter, saying goodbye until next time. Bye bye now.